Yo, so guys, welcome back to another reaction. This is a reaction to a Lost in the Pond video, and this one is 8 American things Britain doesn't have a word for. I've done a few reactions to these before. They're always quite fun to see, like, what things there are names for in the US that we don't even have here, or we don't have a word for. And I mean, yeah, you always seem to enjoy them as well, so we're going to get into this. But yeah, hopefully you're going to enjoy. Links are in the description to my Instagram, my Twitter for those who want to follow me. Same for my Patreon for those who want to see extra reactions. And same for my, I'm going to say my second reaction channel, but it's my sort of new, I've turned it into like a gaming channel plus sort of sports related, football related or soccer. And I mean, if you're interested in that, links are there. I've just literally been editing, I've been editing a video for the last few days. And I think it's quite good. I mean, it's a different demographic, but if you could go and watch it, give it a like and all that kind of stuff, I'd appreciate it. But it's not even out yet, so that doesn't even mean anything. But there's another one out that I have done, so... But yeah, it doesn't really matter, but let's just jump into
But,
this.
as many of you told me at the time, the US has produced even bigger mattresses.
Even bigger match? What the fuck?
Hello, this video is sponsored by Anglatopia.
Is
I'm
money?
Lawrence Brown, and I'm on a quest to
That sounds very British.
pertains to things and stuff. Still a Lost in the Pond series. One of those memos pertains to things and stuff. Specifically, things and stuff for which the other country doesn't even have a word. And this popular Lost in the Pond series is now at part 5. Seriously, it's starting to rival Police Academy. In previous episodes, we've looked at candy corn, grits, s'mores, car hopping, rain checks, bleachers, and nor'easters. And now today, right here, I give you 8 American things that Britain doesn't even have a word for, part 5. You know, before I moved to
Italian
America,
dressing.
I was familiar.
Italian dressing isn't just oil? Olive oil? That wouldn't be called Italian dressing, would it?
Italian food, right? We had pizza and pasta and all the other things. And I thought I had a pretty decent grasp of Italian cuisine. But then I was introduced to Italian dressing, which is a vinaigrette type salad dressing. Now, as somebody who doesn't really care for salads, this isn't something I've had very often. But then again, it turns out that the same can be said for Italians, because not only do we not have a word for Italian dressing in Britain, they also don't have one in Italy. Originating in Massachusetts in the early 1940s,
What?
Italian dressing was called Italian dressing because one of the people that helped to popularize it was the daughter of Italian immigrants. Recently, I was asked on Twitter if I could make any suggestions of American...
I've heard of a Muddy Buddy, but I don't know what it is. It just sounds like a familiar sentence. What's happening there? Sounds like a familiar word. It's not a sentence, is it? It's a word. I don't know why I said sentence. But I don't know where I've heard it.
Candy that someone in the UK...
All of that was just to say what I just wanted to say at the end. I can't believe it took me 20 seconds to explain something that should have taken 2 seconds.
Eat for a taste test. And I don't know why, but the first thing that entered my head...
Maybe it's because I saw his tweet then. Maybe I just saw this pop up because I don't know where I would have heard it from. Why can I not just talk slower? God damn it!
Muddy buddies. Now, not only do we in Britain not really have a word for muddy buddies, but even some Americans might be confused upon hearing that term. So what are muddy buddies? Well, they're a Chex-based candy that's often made with chocolate, peanut butter, and powdered sugar. In fact,
Sounds
that is
good.
their defining quality. But the reason I've come to find that some Americans might not recognize the term muddy buddies is that this candy goes by several names in America. I'm not kidding. In the early days of me living here, we were on the road. We stopped off at a gas station / petrol station, and my wife, old-fashioned AF, pointed to the candy aisle and said, "Oh, do you want a bag of puppy chow?" And I had to be firm. You know, you might think of me as your lapdog, but I'm not eating dog food. It was all a misunderstanding. Anyway, they're really addictive, and they also go by the names of Monkey Munch, Muddy Munch, Reindeer Chow, or Doggy Bag. I'll let you into a secret. My first ever Thanksgiving in the United States took place on the campus of Butler University in Indianapolis. And while hanging out with some of my wife's sister's friends, I got to learn all about Greek life, which is a sort of collective term for sororities and fraternities. And this all seemed really cool. Can I be a member? Can I join your, what was it, sorority? That's girls only. Can I be a frat lad? And then they told me about the initiation process and that it was some form of secret society. And I figured my mum wouldn't approve. In Britain, we don't really have a word at universities for this kind of thing, except maybe secret societies. But we don't place this emphasis on kind of gendered secret societies where you have kind of those Greek letters and all of that. And I suppose that members of these sororities or fraternities live in dorms with each other. And I don't know, do spells on people. But one thing they don't know is I've got a secret of my own, and that is that I stole some stuffing from that gathering. I talked about this one in a video a few weeks ago. In that first year of living in the US, it seems that I was just dragged through all of the educational traditions. In this case, it was colour guard. Now, when I mentioned colour guard in that video a few weeks ago, some of you pointed out that both Britain and America have the concept of colour guard as it relates to the military, and this is true. This is where certain members of the military from all around the world are assigned to the protection of regimental colours and the national flag. In Britain, some people will be familiar with that term. What I'm talking about is colour guard as it pertains to high school marching bands. You might even see it at middle school or college level, and it's when the colour guards perform these kind of choreographed dances involving things like rifles, I assume they're not loaded, right? Other objects, and specifically flags. And it looks amazing, you know, unless they drop it and then you stifle a giggle. I don't know that from experience, but I do know that I'd never seen anything like this in a British school. Same goes for marching.
We don't really have
anyway,
yeah, exactly. He's going to say it. We don't really have marching bands here. Like, that's just not a thing. Like, cheerleading is not even really a thing here. Like, those kind of things. Like, when you have like sporting events, like a football game, like I'd play for the football school team, the school football team. You wouldn't have like anything like that. It's not a big occasion. You're just playing like on a pitch with like maybe a few of someone's parents watching. It's not like a big event like it would be in the US. Like even for like basketball, high school basketball games, you get like a decent little crowd, don't you? So yeah, you don't get like anything like that at all for football. So you wouldn't get like these cheerleaders or whatever either. So it's non-existent in the UK. All of this stuff that he's just said here.
While we're on the subject of flags, that brings us on to this.
Throughout this video, you've probably noticed a lovely new addition to my backdrop. Anglotopia, the website for Anglophiles, has just launched their new Union Jack lightbox. The perfect gift for Anglophiles.
See, I'm actually looking to get things in my background. I'm going to get like a little shelf and I'm going to put like things in the background. I don't know what. My girlfriend mentioned a few things, like maybe like a nice plant, maybe like a fish tank, some LED lights, and then maybe things that I've been sent in the past, and just maybe some sort of like things personal to me. I don't know. See, this would be one of those things that would be quite cool in some sort of backdrop. I'm actually surprised he hasn't got it in his. But he's getting it. Oh, yes. Was it here before? Oh, it was. It's literally been in this since then. Oh, flipping hell. I didn't realise. But yeah, if you're interested, obviously go to his video. Links are there because it's good to see him getting his money, you know what I mean?
Get $30 off your purchase.
One of the things that I absolutely love about this series is that it's largely based on my own experiences of living in America. And my experiences of living here include the word étouffée. And there could be some Americans watching this thinking, what's étouffée? That sounds like something Canadians would say. But French influence can also be found in the US state of Louisiana, where this dish originated last century. Found in both Cajun and Creole cuisine, it's a spicy crawfish-based, roux-covered dish that usually incorporates rice as a side, and it's bloody marvellous. Most popular in New Orleans, it's also found in the coastal areas of Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. And I know what you're thinking, Lawrence, you've never been to those places, what's going on? Well, while that is true, I have been many times to the Cajun Creole restaurant Yats in Indianapolis. And if you ever find yourself in Indiana's capital, I highly advise that you do the same, because their chili cheese étouffée is quite frankly to die, and I cannot emphasize this enough. I believe I've mentioned this one before, but it bears mentioning again. Sassafras trees. I'd not heard of these until I moved to the United States of America. Indeed, just like Cajun Creole restaurants, they are to be found in...
Because that's the whole point of this. I won't have heard of these things because they're not in the UK.
Indiana.
Or they're not... There's not words for them in the UK.
Trees, which are quite notable for their leaves that have 3 prongs, is that what you call them? Lobes, like earlobes, are native to much of the eastern United States. And, you know, while they contribute quite pleasingly to the scenery of that particular area, the absolute best thing about them is their name, sassafras. It sounds like it should be an alien race in Doctor Who. And it has such a good ring to it that, according to Urban Dictionary, some Americans use the word sassafras as an alternate to the word sassy. As in, don't mess with those sorority sisters, they got sassafras. And when it comes to nature, I didn't want to leave out the western half of the United States, so I threw in pronghorn. And when I first learned about these, I thought, ooh, if we do have a word for those back in Britain,
reindeer,
it's probably antelope. Because
wait, reindeers? Deer? Wait, reindeers? Yeah, reindeers are a thing. Wait, reindeers are a thing. Oh god. Wait, reindeers are a thing, right? I'm thinking, like, are they like flipping unicorns? Just a made up thing because of like Christmas and stuff. I think I have seen reindeers before. Fucking hell. Oh no. Got a stinker here, aren't I? Jesus Christ, they are a thing.
Antelope, and apparently America agrees. The pronghorn antelope is only native to North America and mostly in the western United States. And I think we all know that North America has an absolute wealth of animals that can claim the same thing. It's just that some of those animals are known the world over. The bald eagle, the bison. But I hadn't heard of pronghorn until I went out west for the first time. And as for them being antelopes, it turns out this isn't true. Just as koalas aren't bears, the pronghorn is not an antelope. It is in fact a member of the, how do you say that? Antilocapitra. It's a member of the Antilocapridae family. Now, there's a very good chance you became a subscriber.
Oh, I have heard about this.
After watching 5 ways British and American bedrooms are very different. In that, and in this very series, I talked about a US mattress size called the California King. It was massive, it was huge, and no mattress in the UK had the same dimensions. But, as many of you told me at the time, the US has produced even bigger mattresses. Now, in light of that, this entry was originally going to be the Wyoming King, and I was going to save its Alaskan overlord for a future video. But it turns out that Britain does have a word for the Wyoming King, and that word, quite epically, is the Emperor. Both mattresses measure in at 84 by 84 inches. However, while the Emperor is Britain's largest, America's Alaskan King absolutely dwarfs it. Designed to comfortably sleep 4 people, the Alaskan King is a ridiculous 108 by 108 inches.
Isn't that a bit too excessive?
Winning at rectangle.
Like having space in your bed, you can never go wrong, right? But surely there's a point where it's like, okay, this is too much space. Like you can literally sleep here, and your partner will sleep over there, and you'll literally feel like you're in different rooms.
Once again, that's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below.
Fun reaction again. I do enjoy this little mini series. It's just interesting to see these things that we don't have words for over here, or we don't have over here. Most of the rifles used in colour guard are just big sticks carved into the rifle shapes with the same weight and balance, not natural. Oh wow! A doggy bag is something totally different in the PNW. It's a takeout box at a restaurant that you put your leftovers in. What do we call them here? I don't know what we call them here, but I feel like we have a word for them, but I don't know. I actually don't know. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. You want more reactions to Lost in the Pond? Obviously suggest it in the comments, but you know I'm going to react to them anyway. Check his channel out if you haven't already, but I'm sure again you have seen his videos and you're subscribed to him already. But yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.